drivers on there, because you'll probably see an application running that will allow you to do some more things with the drug cabinet. And like I said, we have no problem throwing this one out there since it's already reported.
So inevitably, when we're at a bar around here this week, we get asked about death packets. Can you kill somebody with a packet? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Death packets do exist, and you probably already know about them. They're not anything special. So these systems are required to stay up for patient care. Things that do, for instance, systems that do things like dose high-intensity radiation at cancer patients, that if they go down, could potentially, nuke a person. These things are sitting on these networks, and they're running systems like Windows XP Service Pack 1, and they're not patched because the vendor claims that the Food and Drug Administration certification for that device requires it to never be patched, which is not true, but that's what they let these hospitals know. And so you have these systems that sit out there for years and years and years and never get patched, and if they ever go down, could potentially kill somebody. And we thought this was pretty bad. So these systems, are very fragile. If you're testing a hospital network, please be careful, because I may be there and I don't want to get nuked or something. So yeah, lack of operation of these systems can be bad. There are targeted attacks on things like infusion pumps that could cause physical harm to a person that we've discovered. Again, DOSes. HVACs are very important too. The HVAC systems in most hospitals will sit directly on the network. Heat in a hospital is bad. Again, everybody probably has loved ones in hospitals, so be reasonable about this. Please don't disclose crazy stuff that'll kill people. So.
Right. Disclose extremely responsibly. And that brings us to various miscellaneous healthcare notes if you're doing a pen test. Once again, medical devices are exceedingly fragile, directly affect patient care, and can be down with simple resource exhaustion. So even just scans can be, vulnerability scans can be pretty bad on these devices and can cause something just to go unreported, unmonitored, or worse. Also, you'll see one particular funny thing about hospitals and other places is that time to log in for doctors and nurses is of utmost importance. This really drives a lot of policy when it comes to security in a lot of different facilities. So you'll often find that authentication schemes are exceedingly lax, and this also creates problems where they think the solution is going to be a single sign-on solution or vendor that's going to come in and fix all their problems. But often these systems don't work terribly well either. If you've tried to wrangle one of them before, you probably have a good idea. Also, you'll see massive amounts of remote access technology used for legacy applications. And this is all going to be industry standard, common stuff. Mixed with, of course, lax authentication policies. Often you have the recipe for a remote access nightmare from a security standpoint. These systems are typically used both internally and externally to give access to that. We had mentioned before the FDA approval process and the misunderstanding of it and the miscommunicating of it by various vendors creates a lot of unpatched boxes. So, forget MSO 8067. You're looking at MSO 4011. They're going to be out there.
Hacking like it's 2004.
Yeah, definitely. It is 10 years ago.
So wireless is also going to be an issue in these locations. Handheld medical devices that will roam the networks are usually stripped down Linux drivers that will only support things like WEP. So you'll see WEP networks on these networks that are going to be directly connected to the hospital network because they have to talk, and they have to have those to support those older handheld machines. Again, at best, maybe you'll see LEAP, maybe PEEP. There's going to be no cert validation or anything like that on these networks. So wireless networks are always going to be bad. Also, I mean, these are public places. Everybody's usually pretty busy, so walking around with antennas on your backpack seems to not get you noticed, apparently. So, you can just kind of walk around and look around at those things. Again, these are public places. They have to let the public into them, so you being there isn't going to go noticed necessarily. So social engineering in general is a huge, huge problem for healthcare. It's a really big issue in that they have to have the public come in. They have to interact with you because it's their job, but then bad things can happen from that. Also, due to the lack of standardization of a lot of these protocols that we've been talking about, especially DICOM, it is not uncommon for patients to be given a CD with their medical images on it as part of their own personal health record. Those medical images will not view in every DICOM viewer because everybody's is a slight bit different. So you'll also have like an EXE on there that's a special DICOM viewer for those images. And doctors regularly will get these CDs from patients and put them into computers and run those EXEs and bring it up and look at those images. So you can literally just take the EXE and backdoor it and walk into a doctor's office and say, hey, my leg kind of hurts. Here's a picture of my broken leg, and you get shells everywhere.
And I'm afraid that's it.
about-
You can go find our pits, which will be up very soon, at MediFuzz. We thought we were being clever and would make it something like MetaFuzz, but it's only led to confusion. So medifuzz.com. Send us an email if you want to get a hold of us and talk more about this, or talk to us in QA.
Yeah, we'll be in the QA, or you can buy us a beer. I'm all up for beer, so.
Absolutely, especially after this.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.